Hello Minister Lay, my name is Glenn Floyd and I have been involved as an observer and reporter to the United Nations and have had them involved in mental health cases whereby Australia is frequently and regularly violating the CRPD, Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And I bring to your attention that you are now putting out your 5th mental health plan for a discussion. And I say to you, it's an indictment upon the psychiatric burden which has caused a $60 billion burden upon the community of death, morbidity and financial cost. In Victoria alone there are 7,500 forced psychiatric community orders issued, forcing people into psychiatry. These people do not have, in the main, mental disorders. They are suffering very severe emotional distress and they should be treated not with psychotropic drugs which cause the direct lethal effects. We now have pandemic plague levels of death and morbidity that exceed cancer, heart disease, road deaths, heroin, cocaine and ice addictions. There's no other branch of medicine whereby $60 billion per annum is thrown at a pandemic plague and things get worse. The horrific thing about these forced orders is, Minister Lay, as you well know, that a person cannot put up their hand and plead to be detoxed from these toxic poisons they know are killing them. Psychiatrists merely declare they must take these psychotropic toxic drugs for life. This is a horrific thing to do in any branch of medicine. You well know there is no test anywhere on earth that demonstrates that anyone has a chemical imbalance. There is no test anywhere on earth that demonstrates a person has schizophrenia or bipolar. If any pandemic plague, something major is wrong and it is psychotropic drugs. I ask you, will you immediately report on the absolute numbers of deaths, violence, suicide and morbidity where people are taking lethal psychotropic drugs that cause these pandemic deaths? Would you also please report on the numbers of coroner's reports that demonstrate these deaths were by people who are under psychotropic drugs? This information is actually concealed by coroners and concealed by government. Minister Lay, you're presiding over a death and morbidity rate which is at pandemic levels that exceeds anything in human history. I ask you to report on these matters. Thank you.